It's been 25 years since People's Music Network met in Albany. And we'll do it again in 25 years. But in the meantime, over the 25 years, one of the things we have added that we didn't have back then was a Friday evening concert. I'm glad to see so many of you here to be listening to it, and I know you're going to love it. And we're going to start out with a woman who is from the area. Her name is Kate Owen, and she's a Mohawk educator. And she is part of the community, Canajoharie, and that they're situated in, if you knew the area, you could probably guess which town it's near. Listen to it again. Canajoharie. I heard somebody say it over there. You win the honor of getting the answer. So she's going to tell you a lot about her culture, and she's a Mohawk educator and storyteller. Please welcome Kate Owen.
Mohawk 101, you passed. That's a greeting in Canajoharie, Mohawk language. And I was asked to come here today to share just a little bit about who we are. And I apologize to you because there's this much I would like to tell you, but I only have this much time. So I'm going to do the best that I can. I was also asked to tell you a little bit about the Mohawk community of Kanatsiohareke, and I will do my best to explain that to you as well. Now, among the Haudenosaunee, and I'll explain what that means in a moment, we have a tradition. And in that tradition, whenever we gather together for a meeting, or a social, or a ceremony, any gathering of importance, we begin with what we call the Haudenosaunee. Some people call that the words that come before all else. That's the literal translation. Some people call it the opening address. And some people call it the greetings to the natural world or the Thanksgiving address. And what I'm going to do now is very, very briefly tell you a little bit about it, because it could be as long as 2 hours long. So I'm going to shorten it up a little bit. And in this address, the speaker describes different parts of the natural world. And at the end of each part, the speaker says, "And now our minds are as one." And then the people who are listening, if they agree with what was just said, then they respond. The traditional response is to say "to," T-H-O. Some people say which is how we say yes in Canajoharie. Some people say yeah. So if you would like to respond, you're invited to. That's up to you. First, we think about all of the people of the world. The people who are here tonight. The people who would have liked to have been here but couldn't make it. The people we've met in our lives. The people that maybe we'll meet in the future. And the people that maybe we'll never meet. We think about all of the people of the world. And in our minds, we bundle them together so that together we can all say to every single person in the world, hello, and thank you for who you are, and I love you. And now our minds are as one. And then we think about Mother Earth, who supports all of us, gives us a place to live and to walk, provides for everything that we need to exist, never lets us down. When we wake up in the morning and we open our eyes, she's there. She never forgets us. And so to Mother Earth, we send our hellos, our thank yous, and our love, and now our minds are as one. And then we turn our attention to all of the waters of the world, from the tiniest creek to the largest ocean, because water is life and we can't exist without water. Water makes up most of our bodies, but water covers most of Mother Earth. We need that water. The plants need the water. The animals and the birds need that water as well. And so to every drop of water in the world, we say hello, thank you, and I love you, and now our minds are as one. Then we look into the water and we see Gunjo, the fish, swimming by, and we know that sometimes the fish share themselves with us so that we can have food. And they have an important responsibility, and that is to try to keep that water clean. And their job gets more and more difficult every day, but they never give up, they keep trying. And so to all of the fish of the world, we say hello, thank you, and I love you, and now our minds are as one. Then we think about all of the grasses of the world, how they give us a soft, comfortable place to sit on a hot summer day, how they hold the soil, how they provide food for certain creatures and a home for others. And we think about all of the animals that roam Mother Earth, for they are our brothers. And sometimes they give us food so that we can have the nutrition that we need to stay alive. Sometimes they give us materials to make clothing. And they keep us company as well. We think about all of the animals, we think about all of the fish, we think about all of the insects. And we send to them our hellos, our thank yous, and our love, and our minds are as one. And then we look around and we notice that there are food plants growing. Some people are already looking at seed catalogs, getting ready to purchase their seeds for the spring. And those food plants give us the nutrition that we need to go about our daily activities. We think about all of the medicine plants that grow that help us to become healthy again when we're ill. We think about all of the berries and the nuts and the fruits that we enjoy so much when they become ripe. We think about all of the food plants, all of the medicine plants, and we think about the trees and how the trees hold the soil and give us oxygen and help to clean the air and give us a cool, shady spot to sit on a hot summer day and provide a home for the birds and many creatures and share their great beauty with us. We think about all of those things. We bundle them together in our minds and we say, hello, thank you, and I love you, and now our minds are as one. Then we look up into the sky and we notice, if we're lucky, we'll see some winged ones flying by. And sometimes they'll sing to us. And when they do, we're so happy. It puts a smile on our face. And Mohawk elder and spiritual leader Tom Porter says it's important to remember to smile a minimum of 3 times a day. A minimum. You can smile more if you want. Because if we don't smile, that means we miss the point of being alive, of being here and enjoying all of the gifts that we've been given. And the birds remind us of that when they sing. And they share their beautiful colors with us. And when they fly through the sky, it lifts our feelings, our emotions with them, so we feel lighter. And so to all of the birds, we say hello, thank you, and I love you, and now our minds are as one. And then we think about the 4 winds that clean the air and cool us on a hot summer day and bring the change of the weather. We think about the thunder beings, our grandfathers that bring the water, that fill up the rivers and the oceans and help to quench the thirst of the plants and the animals and us. And we said to them our hellos, our thank yous, and our love, and now our minds are as one. And now I look higher still, and I see our eldest brother, the sun, who follows a regular path across the sky each day so we can plan our activities accordingly, and who gives us heat and light. And so we are so grateful that he never forgets his responsibilities, who watches over us like a big brother. We're grateful for that. And we also have a nighttime sun, Grandmother Moon. And sometimes she reflects light at night too, so that we won't bump into each other and hurt each other. And she controls the rise and the fall of the waters and regulates the monthly cycles of all of the female life, thus ensuring the coming of the future generations. She helps us to count time. She's the leader of all the female life. And so, to our eldest brother, the sun, and to Grandmother Moon, we say, hello, thank you, and I love you. And now our minds are as one. And then we think about the stars that beautify the night sky and keep Grandmother Moon company. And those stars, they're the ones that put the dewdrops on the grass in the summertime, so that when the sun rises in the sky and that grass wakes up and it's thirsty, it has something to drink. And the stars, they show us our way home when we are lost. And so we are so grateful to them. We say hello, thank you, and I love you, and now our minds are as one. We think about the spiritual guides that help us when we forget who we are and why we're here and where we're going. We thank them for reminding us to say thank you every day for all that we have been given. And so we say hello, thank you, and I love you, and now our minds are as one. And then we turn our attention to the one that made us, the one who has given us life and everything that we need to sustain life. We don't have to ask for anything. We already have everything that we need. All we need is the wisdom to use those gifts wisely so that we can enjoy our lives and take what we need from the natural world, but only what we need, and to leave the rest for the future generations to enjoy. And so to the Creator, or God, or to the great mystery, he has many names, we pile high our most sincere, our most loving, our most thoughtful words and feelings and ideas of greetings, thankfulness, and love. And we send that out to every part of the universe, and now our minds are as one. And at this point, the speaker says, I am only a human being, and so I'm not perfect. And sometimes I misspeak. I don't mean to, but sometimes I do. So if I've misspoken in any way, please know that I did not do it intentionally. And if I've forgotten anything or anyone, that wasn't intentional either. Please feel free to fix that in your own way in your hearts. And now our minds are as one. And so that's the Reader's Digest condensed book version of our opening address. And I think you can tell that it's a way in which we can all remember that we are all equal, we're all connected, we're all related, not only to one another, but to every part of the natural world, and that we've been given this wonderful gift of life. It's supposed to bring our minds together so we can sit here, enjoy what's going to happen tonight, and not worry about whether or not you turned out the lights at home or not. Now, I was also asked to explain to you a little bit about the Haudenosaunee. I'm a retired school teacher, so I brought a visual aid. This is a replica of a wampum belt. There are many, many different wampum belts, and each one tells us a different story about our history and about our treaties. These are memory devices to help us know from where we have come. You need to know from where you have come to know where you're going. And so this one is a replica of a belt that some say is 1,000 years old and some say it's 2,000 years old. The real one is made of wampum beads that are made from shell, and they're woven together. And from time to time, our people, the ones with good memories, recite the speeches that go with these belts. So again, we never forget our history. And this one talks about something that happened, like I said, some say thousands of years ago, but in our tradition we say yesterday. And what happened was our nations, this is heavy, the Mohawk, the Oneida, the Onondaga, the Cayuga, and the Seneca nations were at war. It was a terrible time in our history, a dark period. And it came to be, and I'm shortening this story too, because this one's 10 days long. A man that we call the peacemaker came to us with a message of peace and unity. And he convinced these 5 warring nations to unify into a united nations. And some people call it the 5 nations, Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca. Some people call it the 6 nations, because in the 1700s, the Tuscarora people came from North Carolina to join. Some call it the Iroquois Confederacy, and some call it the Haudenosaunee, or the Haudenosaunee, depending on which nation you're from. And as I said, it took 10 days for this, it takes 10 days to recite this story. It took a long time for it to happen, and it was difficult to convince people to stop fighting and to trust in peace, to trust in love, to trust in harmony and friendship. And they say that one of the devices that the peacemaker used to convince, the hardest one to convince, and that was Haudenosaunee, an Onondaga man, to convince him that peace would work. One of the techniques he used was song. Nobody could get near him because he had great powers and he could destroy people before they got close enough to him to communicate with him. But the peacemaker and others sang a peace song, so beautiful and without hesitation. And they were able to mesmerize Haudenosaunee. They were able to approach him without him destroying them because their song was so beautiful. And then they were able to reason with him and get him to think like a human being again, a loving person, instead of a hateful one. And they say that he was told stories as well. And sometimes our stories are in songs, and that's the power of our stories, that's the power of our songs. Not just for us, but for all people around the world. There's a great power. Now, I know these things because an hour west of here, there's a place called Canajoharie, which is a Mohawk community near Canajoharie. Canajoharie is the correct way to say Canajoharie. And in 1993, a Mohawk community was started there by Mohawk elder Tom Porter. And the reason he started it was because in the late 1800s and into the 1900s, the United States and Canada had a policy in which they would take our children away from our communities and families and put them in residential schools to whitewash them, to educate them in non-native ways, and to punish them if they spoke their own language, if they performed their own ceremonies, if they did anything that belonged to their culture. And some of these children were as young as 5 and 6 years old when they were taken away, and some of them didn't return home till they were adults, till they were 18. And when they went back home, they didn't know their language, they couldn't speak with their families, they didn't know their traditions, their spirituality, their history, and they were taught to be ashamed of who they were. And this went on from one generation to another. You know how those things are, intergenerational, and the dysfunction that went along with it was intergenerational too. But in 1990, 1983, Tom Porter formed a community called Canajoharie, where our people could go and relearn our history, our culture, our spirituality, our songs, our dances, our stories, where we could learn to be proud of who we were and bring that information back to our communities and back to our families, and to also teach non-native people if they wanted to know about who we were too, because you know it's important to share our stories and our songs and our ideas and our hopes for the future with one another. Because when we take the time to do that, we are reminded that we're all connected. We all share this place called Mother Earth. We all have the same mother. And a good planet is hard to find. And so, when we share our stories, we find out about each other. We find that we have more in common than we have differences. And then hopefully we're not afraid of one another. And if there's no fear, then hopefully there'll be no anger. And hopefully if there's no anger, there will be no war. And so I want to say Nyawagoa to you for letting me share this little bit with you. And I know you're all going to be sharing with each other this weekend. Nyawa. I forgot the commercial. Tom Porter, there are some books that Tom Porter wrote that are on the table out in the hallway if you're interested. They'll only be there this evening. There's an informational paper about Kanatsiohareke if you're interested. And if you'd like to get information on upcoming events at Kanatsiohareke, there's a sign-up sheet out there as well. Enjoy this evening.
Okay, OLAN. Now it's really my pleasure, a major pleasure. I met Charlie King at People's Music Network in New York City in 1983 or thereabouts. I've seen him many times since then. He's one of the co-founders of this organization. He has a wicked wit. He's just a wonderful man, and I'll let him speak for himself. Please welcome the one, the only, Mr. Charlie King.
If I only were an instrumentalist. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, Kay. It's wonderful to be in this school, in this auditorium here in Albany. Very grateful to the work of all of the wonderful musicians and singers and songwriters and cultural workers here in Albany that made it possible for us to be here tonight. Thank you very much.
By the latest estimation, black men in the prime of life, due to mass incarceration, taser, chokehold, gun, and knife, notwithstanding loud entreaties, falling on disdainful ears. Now our endangered species, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Father, brother, son or a lover. 1 in 6 have disappeared. Stolen lives we can't recover. 1 in 6 have disappeared. Every home bereft or broken, every bond that we hold dear, all the love that's left unspoken, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Elder, mentor, willing student, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Damned by forces, jurisprudent, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Master, journeyman, apprentice, pacifist or bombardier, teacher, lawyer, doctor, dentist, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Out in Ferguson, Missouri, 2 in 5 have disappeared. Numbers tell a harder story, 2 in 5 have disappeared. Genders equal at beginning if they live past teenage years. 60 men, 100 women, 1, 2 in 5 have disappeared. And is the song that's sung in sorrow, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Even if we change tomorrow, 1 in 6 have disappeared. Reparations and repentance, justice rendered, life revealed. Still we hear the heavy sentence, 1 in 6 have disappeared. 1 in 6 have disappeared. Reading a little article in the New Yorker on the current presidential election, and it said, this is interesting, it said that the most looked up word on the Merriam-Webster online dictionary is socialism. The second most looked up word this year is fascism. So I was pretty thoroughly inoculated against socialism growing up. My father had a very simplistic explanation of what socialism was and an equally simplistic explanation of why it was bound to fail. So this is that argument followed by a modest suggestion on my own part. They say if you took all the money on earth and dispensed equal portions to each child at birth, that after a while it would all find its way back to the same handful that holds it today. Well, I'm willing to give that a try. Everyone gets a piece of the pie. If we give the money to the many at the bottom and wait for it to trickle up to the top, give the money to the many at the bottom, top dog waiting for his trickle up. You're trying to give the money to the many. Give the money to the many and wait for it to trickle. Wait for it to trickle up to the top. Give the money to the many at the bottom, top dog waiting for his trickle up. Rosalie dwells in a dump, cleans hotels for Donald Trump. Swap their salaries, she sits pretty, penthouse suite, Atlantic City. The money trickles back to Dawn, so he can hire her husband Juan. Pay him both a living wage, mortgage, credit card, hires Donald Trump to break his yard. Trump invests in a landscape biz. No, someday this will all be his because he gives the money to the many at the bottom and he waits for it to trickle up to the top. Got to give the money to the many at the bottom. Top dog waiting for his trickle up. Top dog waiting for his trickle up. Please wait. So I have the pleasant duty of introducing Ben Groska. Many of you know Ben because he's a frequent visitor to your inbox and email, and there's a reason for that. Ben is the executive director of People's Music Network. He's really raised the bar in terms of organizing and outreach and bringing in a wide range of musicians, wider than our membership. And so it's been great to see that diversity flourish with Ben at the executive director helm. And those of you who know him well know that he's also an amazing songwriter, singer, and wonderful guitarist. So he's going to give us a couple of songs, and I'd like you to give a warm welcome to Ben Groska.
So grateful to the People's Music Network community. I've been a member since 2005. And what I've learned here is the value of showing up and being present for each other. Now, when things are going your way, it's a lot easier to show up. But even when they don't go your way, there's still value in doing it. When people recognize that, community becomes possible. We're the people who inspire me. Be shining when I get there. Shining when I get there. I don't know. We're the people who inspire me. Be shining when I get there. Shining when I get there. I don't know. Oh, the people who inspire me. Be shining when I get there. Oh, the people who inspire me. Be shining. Be shining when I get there. Shining. Shining when I get there. I don't know. Will the people who inspire me be shining when I get there? Shining when I get there. I don't know. Will the songs that make me want to sing be ringing when I get there? Will the songs that make me want to sing be ringing when I get there? Ringing, ringing when I get there. I don't know. Will the songs that make me want to sing be ringing when I get there? Ringing when I get there. I don't know. Will the dancing where I come alive be rising when I get there? Will the dancing where I come alive be rising when I get there? Rising, rising when I get there. I don't know. Will the dancing where I come alive be rising when I get there? Rising when I get there. I don't know. Will the truth the truth I carry in my heart. Be welcome when I get there. Welcome. Welcome when I get there. I don't know. With the truth I carry in my heart. Be welcome when I get there. Welcome when I get there. I don't know. Many gifts that will be offered there. Am I ready to receive them? Many gifts that will be offered there. Am I ready to receive them? Ready. Ready to receive them? I don't know. Many gifts that will be offered there. Am I ready to receive them? Ready to receive them? I don't know. Will I be there to share what I've been given? To share what I've been given, will I go? Will I be there to share what I've been given? 'Cause the ones who will be there would like to know. It was Charlie King, actually, who first told me about PMN. I was out there at a protest singing right after George Bush was reselected in 2004, and Charlie said, "Come on down to New York City, PMN is down there." Well, the 19th century anarchist communist Ionataiewas said everything depends on what the people are capable of wanting. Now, a key front of the climate justice struggle today is defending the imaginative space within which people develop the ability to desire a good society. One that could respond justly to the climate crisis. That space of imagination is under occupation today. The occupiers are xenophobic demagogues, hubristic technocrats, sycophantic news anchors and intellectuals, and a visionless and morally deranged political class which controls both major parties. Activists and artists must revive a radical political imagination, one that breaks free from the delusions of capitalism. My last song tonight will be the title track on my forthcoming debut album, This Changes Everything. I found inspiration for this song in a book by the Canadian journalist Naomi Klein called This Changes Everything: Capitalism versus the Climate. You take your profits from extractive industries. This changes everything. Your business plan would heat the earth by 6 degrees. This changes everything. You claim the rights to the atmosphere. You take more space every single year. But 7 billion other people live down here. This changes everything. You strip the coal, you drill the seas, you frack the land. This changes everything. Poisons fill the earth as your pipeline routes expand. This changes everything. Your business grows and your wealth accrues. You launch super PACs and bloody coups for you to win. We all must lose. This changes everything. The poor seek refuge from disasters you create. This changes everything. Your mansion's on a hill and guards are at the gate. This changes everything. You buy the president and you write the laws. You send drilling rigs where the sea ice thaws. People gonna rise like the floods you cause. This changes everything. Imagine the world that will be unfolding from history and what future we dare to see. This changes everything. Living soil, holding carbon, taken from the air. This changes everything. Don't need a car when public transit lines are there. This changes everything. Freedom for the migrant and the refugee. This changes everything. Sharing with my neighbor who also shares with me. This changes everything. Power from the wind and waves and sun. This changes everything. Power in our hands when victory is won. This changes everything. Our children will live with dignity on the only home for humanity. By our own hands, we will live free. This changes everything. This changes everything. This changes everything.
Rose Cup. Fearless leader in putting this event together. He's done a good job, I must say. The young people are okay, aren't they? Maybe I can retire. There are people coming along to take my place. This is good. And speaking of young people, this next woman is amazing. She's local. She's from Albany, Amani Olukwala. And she, have you heard that name? Yes! I don't know why you heard that name. Because she's one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter in this area. She's also a performance short speech and poem, and she highlights social injustice, revering the ancestors, and the need for change. Please welcome Ionataiewas.
I want new poetry. Nothing conventional, because nothing about us is conventional unless the PLU code is 420, you dig? Clove, honey, you dig? Nature's natural nectar, for which necrophiliacs must bow to their knees and beg mercy to queen bees, for they understand quite keen that we are exactly what we eat. Turnip or beets, we eat death. We pay for death at the grocery store. So have you found everything you were looking for today? Bags or boxes, conventional, organic, food or oppression, factory farms funnel fake food like phony fellow fruits, so little brown children forget where food comes from. Got babies asking Nana what flavor is blue, baby boo? Let me taste you a strawberry, it's just a stop on the train, the vine, the underground railroad, unlocking the key to your mind. Wisdom grown on trees hardens over time and withstands the winter like kale or collards or callaloo. The yellow brick roads of freedom is red, black, and green and paved with walnut trees. It's your mind. It's your body, winning, boss mode, no cheats. Live it, taste it, feel it through. Original rainbow, really not blue number 5, because it causes more than just oversize. But if you think this is a poem about weight, well, you're gonna be waiting. Thick, lustful, waiting in the folds of her gorgeous, in the cuffs of his wholesome, fullness of identities of certainty clear. Certainly thank the gods, because you can't get all that from surgery. No, this is a poem about wholeness, about living in entirety, on purpose in face of genocide. Living on purpose in face of genocide is power to the little guys, is 5 on the black hand side, is hardball, no seats, hopscotch, no courtside, double dutch on the devil's roof, fire burn honest honey buns, and demand to obey my sweet thirst like sugar plum fairies, healed over, killed over, hunches of oats and fuckery, food lies on labels you buy for tables, and we end up with labels of poison for our young. We rest our head on toxins, lather, bathing, coated up and down babies' bodies, temples with creams that scream of cancer, oils that clog pores, like old sinks without memories, just utility, holding on, washing away dignity in chlorinated water that fucks with cognition, holding on, keys to ignition with our indignation missing. So now we ain't gonna take it. We ain't gonna take it, can't slapjack, no drizzle down, can't hot cake it, erasures of my people in face of prayer, ancestors forced to believe it. Beat the prayer in and the conscious out, the question out, replacing conscious with Christ and Christ with conscious, like they exclusive topics in all places proper, like there was no predecessors who knew love. Like we could only learn Thanksgiving through thugs, pilgrimage through pillage, and the deserts and swamps left when the dust settled over the projects. Like we ain't got no access. Absent our activism, arteries are clogged with abscess. Absent is the advent of equity, atrocious. Too much to grin and bear and lick her wounds like candy that they'll come up sweet like a coconut macaroon or arugula, ruling it too delicate for a backroom affair between race and riot. I will write. I will riot. I will write. I will riot. We won't buy it. We won't buy it. You's a liar. You and your food, you's a liar. Should be your ass, your pants, and not mine on fire. The stakes are dire, and we ain't gonna take it. So take it before it take you. fangirl, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm on stage with Diana and Steely and the Peace Poets. Like, this is ridiculous. Y'all might already know, and they're probably gonna do it later when the Peace Poets come out, but they popularized and wrote that song in honor of Eric Gardner, the I Can't Breathe song. And I was just thinking about how relevant that is, because thank you so much for the wonderful introduction I had, the mentioning of the founding of the Upstate New York Black Lives Matter chapter. And y'all don't relate. Like, you don't have to explain why that's just everything. Like, it was amazing. But you know, like, it's like a don't read the comments kind of situation. There's lots of people who are totally against that. They don't get it. And that's complicated, because I feel like most of us who are activists or social justice musicians, artists, gardeners, politicians, whatever you do for the justice, it's coming from a place of love and empathy. And I feel like, and you know, that like gets missed so much, and people are like, what? Why are you doing this? You hate. And I'm just like, yo, dude, it's really because I love you. Like, that's what it's all about. And it's so complicated, because it's like, some people, well, they'll be like down with half the message. They're like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, but not the trans shit. And we're like, what? It's all connected. And so this piece that I'm gonna do, it kind of came out of like that complicated space of being aware and being in love, like with beings and just life and existence, and understanding just like that there's a beauty about everybody and that it's all connected. So, I don't know, y'all gonna get it. I'm gonna just do the poem. I fear it sounds like preaching when I speak. I know the smell of rot of which religion reeks, and it scares me. I'm just being me. But in a world where difference reeks of arrogance, to have audacity of free thought in the face of artificially flavored reality is a sin. So smelly that punishment comes from within, you will implode. The people for whom you march for will lynch you themselves. They will eat you from the inside out as they justify the democratic dreams where freedom rings of lust and thirst and pain. They will justify the dust dunes of bodies that haunt nations with no faces. Where boys who look like my cousin get lost, ground and tossed like boys and bones and meat and boots and helmets and combat gear and babies and mothers who scream like dolphins, who scream, who weep and laugh, and baby girls who lose good dads to mental genocides and national anthems, who get buried deep beneath flags and cavalry songs and yippee-ki-yays while my heroes kill cowboys, but if they're white, they don't count as terrorists. Discomfort. I'm not supposed to say anything that causes discomfort. I never aim to cause disquiet. It's just silent is not a setting that's ever worked in my favor. I've missed too many calls to action from the backs of strangers who I hope would do the same if our differences amounted to minor matters such as hue of skin, sexual organs, orientation of love, language of comfort, nation of origin. Someone's brother might kill my brother on the battlefield, and I will weep, and I will mourn. Though someone's brother might be killed by my brother on the battlefield, and I won't weep, and I won't mourn. His sorrowful Thanksgiving stories won't tear me away from reality, to be bigger than me, to be bigger than my body, to dream bigger than my body, to fight for justice, or life, or for forgiveness, for joy for boys who killed my brothers, for men who raped my mothers, for mothers who bludgeoned my sons, for fathers who slaughtered my daughters. Forgiveness, or peace, or all good things. For what does the world expect of a speck of a girl, awake with the weight of awareness and in love with each of the beings who come into her wake? I love you. And everyone's good to someone at some point. Some days it seems like no one wants to hear what I've got to say. I love you. And every sign reminds me of the pervasive presence of oppression. I see it everywhere. We've learned the lies, internalized the message that all is fine, that all is well. As hell heats and swells and shadowed feet, thinking that they're free. There's blood and guts in all I see, but I smile. We cook, we smoke, we dance. I fear you think that I've convinced myself that I am better, that I've forgotten where I come from. Like my shit don't reek of stink and shame and dates with gangs and rapes and breaks of trees and rubber trees and leaves, no sticks or stones on walls that foil and bubble and boil and face of cold showers and rusted pipes and winter mornings and mothers and silent fathers and searches of self under covers and picket signs with the claims of others stitched and stenciled across my gum line. I stumble every day, but I roll and I learn. And sometimes I write poems about it. It isn't me who has forgotten where I come from. I speak from a simple soapbox, no inches higher than your own. The difference is only I love you so much that I will not be quiet about it.
In case you've forgotten, you haven't heard the name before, Amani Olagbala. Amani Olagbala. So one of the things I want to do while I'm up here waiting for the next group to set up is to thank our sound guys, Ed Brown and Howie Middleman. And backstage, I have Taylor running. Here he is. He's upstairs. He's right up there doing a great job. Again, like I said, the young people, they're going to take over and do it for us. And this act coming up next will be the last act of the first half of the show. And then there's going to be an intermission. And then come back for some more great music. All right. Our next act is, again, Albany. And if I get the right page here. And this is without my glasses. It's pretty good. I'm finding that all of a sudden in the last couple of weeks, I can read without my glasses. It's scary. Something's going on. I'm getting younger. I'm reading there. See? Actually, it's better up here. All right. Next person is Ionataiewas. Oh, you know that name. Some big local people. You know that's great. And her partner, Ionataiewas, are going to be up here. And Taina has been singing songs of social justice, and she's a singer-songwriter. She's been doing this for about 21 years. And I said to her when she told me that, I said, does that mean you started when you were 5 years old? I couldn't believe it. And it's up to her if she wants to share her real age with you. What are you doing down there? Playing with the... I guess there's some kind of a mic situation here. Well, I'm glad you're all here, and please look at the program book for the weekend and make sure you catch all of the wonderful things there are to catch. And I personally want to recommend the Wisdom of the Elders, which is on Saturday at 4 o'clock. Joe Jenks and I will be interviewing Bev Grant, Elise, I forgot her last name, would be Brian, thank you. See, I still have an old brain. Elise Bryant and Beth Grant and Charlie King. And that's what we're going to be doing. You have to plug something here. Do you want me to move? No? This is fun. Okay, so I've already introduced the act, and if these guys get through playing with their toys. Is that it? That's it? Oh, goody. Okay, so bring out Ionataiewas and Canajoharie.
Wow. Check, check. Wow, what a gift to be here tonight. What a beautiful introduction. Thank you, Sunny, for stalling while we get these the techie things out of the way. I promise it'll be worth it. My name is Ionataiewas, she said. And I first want to applaud all the people who've come before me. one more time. Please give a round of applause. It's such a gift to share the stage with these folks. Amani and I work in capital area against mass incarceration together. So I've already been gifted the treat of working with her in a social justice capacity, but I also had the honor of having her feature in my newest music video, which is being called the New Black Lives Matter Anthem. It's a song that's calling out against mass incarceration. And so I encourage you to check it out if you get a moment. This first song that I'm going to do is called Sofrito. And for those of you who don't know, Sofrito is a special sauce. For me, it's a special sauce that we use in our Puerto Rican cooking. It's sort of the base. It has a lot of delicious ingredients in it, garlic and cilantro, onions. I'm not going to give you the recipe. But my grandmother was known for this beautiful special sauce that she would travel from New York City, where she was living, upstate to upstate New York, and she would stuff our freezer with little tubs of this sofrito. And when I would open the freezer and I would open the container, being in cold upstate New York, so far away from my culture, so far away from my people, I would remember who I am and where I came from. And for me, this is a concept that's really important to social justice. And one thing that I love so much about being here at PMN, the intergenerationality of being here, understanding this music of social justice as a legacy being passed on from generation to generation, just like the recipe of sofrito. because they are right here with us, walking with us. And this is my partner in crime and love and rebellion. And you know, one thing that I've always been taught is that our ancestors are always with us, always walking with us on this journey. You know, even if they're not our ancestors by blood, our ancestors by spirit, our revolutionary, musical, artistic ancestors are guiding us on this path. And that's a little bit of what this song is about. It's called And We Walk. And it's about the times where we walk, we run, we stand, we sit to protect our earth. And in that, we are guided by our ancestors. They're there with us, over our shoulders, within us, around us, as we move on this journey to protect our earth and to protect us all.
Yeah.
10:30 with Ruth, who's going to be up next after the break. It's been an honor and a privilege. I have CDs and t-shirts. Come meet with me. I'd love to connect with folks. Thank you all so much.